Okay. Are we live? चेक करिए एक बार. नहीं फ़ोन में तो नहीं दिखा रहा. Okay. Good afternoon everyone. So we are going to start the discussion of yesterday's test. First question is, with reference to calculation of GDP and GNP, consider the following statement. First statement is GDP encompasses the total output of final goods and services produced within the territorial boundary of a country. GNP reflects the income earned by the country's resident, encompassing earning from both domestic and foreign sources, and GNP always surpass. Okay, let's try to understand this thing. GDP plus net factor income from abroad will be GNP. That means if we add net factor income into GDP, that will be GNP. Now the value of this net factor income can be positive, can be negative, and that is why it is not true that GNP will always surpass GDP due to incorporation of net factor income from abroad. So this third statement is incorrect, and by using elimination method also you can eliminate this thing. First and second statement are correct, and so correct answer is 1 and 2. Okay. Now which of the following identify the laissez-faire economy? Laissez-faire economy basically means the control of the government is not there in the economy. That means absolutely freedom is there. So basically it is lack of the government intervention in the economy. Third question is, consider the concept of ICOR. Now understand concept of COR. COR basically means capital to output ratio. How much capital we are investing and how much output will be there. If capital to output ratio is high, that means we need to invest high amount of capital for the same output. Now if that is happening, that means the economy is inefficient. Similarly, ICOR basically means if we have to produce 1 unit extra, for that extra 1 unit, how much amount of capital we need to invest. Okay. So consider the concept of ICOR. Concept of ICOR. Which of the following statement is correct regarding ICOR? ICOR signify the relationship between investment and GDP growth rate. Yes, that is correct. Lower ICOR value indicate higher efficiency of capital utilization. Yes, that is also correct. Lower ICOR basically means, let's say we have to construct a school building. Now one state has constructed that building in 10 crore rupee. Another state has constructed that same building in say 15 crore. So which one is more efficient? Someone who has done it in 10 crore. So in that case ICOR is going to be lesser or lower. Usually COR is capital to output ratio. ICOR means, let's say for the same school building, if we have to construct 1 room extra, so how much extra capital we would require, that is referred as ICOR. Okay. Next question is, which of the following were primary contributor to the stagnation of Indian agriculture sector during colonial period? Now understand, before Britishers, the land was under the control of Jamidars. They used to collect exploitative revenue from the farmers, and that's why the investment into agriculture was quite low, so the production was also low. Now the question is, which of the following were responsible for the stagnant agricultural production? So first is exploitative land revenue system, then large scale commercialization of agriculture. Now understand, even now roughly 66% of our area is under food crops. Basically there is a difference. When we cultivate non-food crops, that is for the purpose of selling them, so that is commercialization. When we cultivate food crops, basically they are for self consumption. So even now the majority of farmers practice subsistence farming. This is a kind of exaggerated statement that large scale commercialization of agriculture was there. So this is incorrect, this is correct. Limited irrigation facility, yes, it was there. Inadequate technological advancement, it was also there. So using elimination also, you can eliminate second statement. This is gone, this is gone, this is gone. By default you have C option as correct option. Now it is a kind of question in which you have not read it directly, but you can directly apply basic understanding of the subject. and therefore you can eliminate options. Okay, now coming to question number 5. Various planning initiatives are given and you have to arrange them. See, this kind of question has been asked previously also. So please make sure you write them at one place and you try to remember the timeline. So let me write it down for you. We had Vishveshwaraya plan, then we had Bombay plan, sorry, in between there will be NPC, that is National Planning Committee, then there will be Bombay plan, then there will be Gandhian plan, then there will be People's plan, then there will be Sarvodaya plan, Sarvodaya, People, Gandhian, Bombay, and then we had Planning Commission in 1950, then NDC, that is National Development Council, was set up in 1952, and then in 2015 that Planning Commission was replaced by Niti Aayog. So this is the timeline which you need to remember. So directly certain questions can be answered from this timeline itself. Now coming to next question. Question number 6. Which of the following statement accurately describe disposable personal income? Understand the concept. Disposable income basically means the income or the money which you have for your expenditure after entire deduction of taxation and all the liabilities which you have to pay. So that this is the amount of money which you have for expenditure. That is disposable personal income. Now understand, first statement, it represents the income available to household for consumption, saving and spending after deduction of income tax. This statement is after deduction, this statement is before deduction. No, it is not before deduction, it is the amount that is available after the deduction of taxation. Third is it denotes the income available only for consumption for after account of, and it denotes the income available only for, no, the first statement is correct. It is the basically it is the amount of money which you have available for your basic expenses after deduction of taxation. That is disposable income. Next question is, consider the following statement regarding Niti Aayog and Planning Commission. Niti Aayog was established by an act of parliament. See, it is a very basic question. Niti Aayog, Planning Commission and NDC. These three were executive body, Planning Commission, NDC and then Niti Aayog. Okay. Now, मिश्रा जी फ़ोन दीजिए डाउट अगर किसी स्टूडेंट का हो तो. Okay, so first statement, this is incorrect because it was not set up through Act of Parliament, it is an executive body. Second is Niti Aayog possesses the authority to allocate fund. Actually, that was the power with the Planning Commission, and that's why the Planning Commission is also referred as Economic Cabinet. Economic Cabinet of India. Economic Cabinet of India. That is basically the term which is used to refer Planning Commission because it was a powerful body to allocate resources. This term was given by Ashok Chandra, that Planning Commission had the power to allocate resources. After establishment of Niti Aayog, that power was transferred to the Finance Ministry. That means now Niti Aayog does not have that power. That power is in the hands of Finance Ministry. So this second statement is incorrect. First is also incorrect. Third is Niti Aayog has the power to mandate and impose policies. No, it does not have that kind of power. It is also an advisory body just like Planning Commission. So this is wrong because of this statement, this is wrong because it does not have power, this is also wrong because it cannot impose policies. Okay. Next, coming to question number 8. Consider the following statement regarding Finance Commission. First statement says as per set up as per Article 148. Article 148 is related to CAG. It is Article 280 under which this Finance Commission is set up. Second is Arvind Pangaria has been appointed as the chairperson of 16th Finance Commission. Yes, that's a correct statement. Finance Commission is entrusted with the responsibility of submitted its report within a stipulated time frame after its appointment. That's a basic statement. Yes, that is why recommendatory bodies are set up, so that they can recommend within a specific time frame. Of course, government won't provide unlimited time frame. So this thing is done. That means the first statement is incorrect, second and third are correct, and therefore this is going to be the answer. Now coming to question number 9. Thank you. So is there any doubt? Okay, sound problem. Okay, thank you. Any other doubt so far? Okay, now coming to question number 9. Inflation benefit debtors. Understand that debtor is a term for borrower. And creditor is a term for lender. Now understand, whenever someone borrow amount, so basically they borrowed amount. Now because of inflation, the purchasing power of that amount will go down. Let's say I borrowed 100 rupee. Now the purchasing power of that 100 rupee will go down. So whenever I will repay that amount, it will not have same purchasing power because of inflation. So that is why inflation is beneficial for borrower, it is harmful for lender. Now the first is Finance Commission and Advisory Body. Yes, it just recommend things. Inflation benefit a borrower by redistributing wealth from creditor. Yes, it is correct. Basically it is beneficial for borrower, harmful for lender. Higher inflation reduce the real value of borrowed money. Yes, because of inflation things have become costly, so the purchasing capacity of money has gone down. We cannot purchase same item in same quantity because of inflation. So that is second statement is also correct, effectively lowering the burden on a debtor. Yes, so both these statements are correct. Now in a very general way, it is usually referred that inflation is beneficial for borrower, it is harmful for the person who has lent money. Similarly, try to understand this phenomena using another analogy. For example, when we deposit money in the bank, so bank is borrower and people are depositor. In that case also, who will be benefited? It is the bank. Usually the interest rate offered by the bank are unable to beat the inflation rate. Okay. Now coming to next question. In the context of economy, high fiscal deficit can. Now this is an interesting question. High fiscal deficit can lead to cost push inflation, boost a sluggish economy, lead to very low interest. Fiscal deficit basically means government borrowing. So if government will borrow money, it will increase the public expenditure. Increment in public expenditure will lead to higher demand in the economy because aggregate demand will increase. That will lead to inflation. Now inflation will increase the cost of production. So yes, it will lead to cost push inflation. First thing is correct. It will lead to cost push inflation because of higher demand there is a inflation. So because of inflation the prices has increased, subsequently the cost of production will also increase. It will boost a sluggish economy. Sluggish basically means it was not growing at a good pace, it was not growing at a decent pace. So yes, it will boost a sluggish economy. Easy way to remember, AD, which we have discussed, was what is AD? Aggregate demand. So it is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Okay, so when we are saying that G, that is a government expenditure, had increased, so basically it will lead to higher demand, that will lead to inflation, and inflation will increase cost of production, that will lead to cost push inflation. So first and second are correct. Now understand, we have discussed crowding out effect. Crowding out effect. What was crowding out effect? Crowding out effect basically means that because of government borrowing, the private borrowers are facing problem in borrowing amount because interest has increased. So third statement will actually, it will lead to higher inflation, higher cost of borrowing or higher interest rate. It will not reduce interest rate, it will in fact increase the interest rate. Third is incorrect, first and second are correct, and therefore only 2 is the correct answer. Next question is, okay, next question. Which of the following institutions serve as a nodal institution for the implementation of SDG in India? See, regarding SDG, you need to remember a couple of important points. First, for SDG, we have Niti Aayog. Now, SDG are Sustainable Development Goals. They are successor of MDG. What is MDG? Millennium Development Goals. They were actually 8 goals. They were announced in the year 2000, and the timeline was to achieve them by 2015. And from 2015, we have SDG. From 2015 till 2030, there are 17 SDG and 169 targets. The concept of SDG or sustainable development was given by Brundtland Commission. Brundtland Commission in its report Our Common Future. Okay, this is something which you need to remember. Yes, Niti Aayog is the nodal organization. In fact, Niti Aayog present a VNR, that is voluntary national review. In that review, Niti Aayog represent that what steps we have taken to achieve sustainable development goals. Okay, nodal basically means apex organization. Nodal means apex organization. Okay, any other doubt? Brundtland Commission, voluntary local review, Bhopal, yes. So, next question is question number 12. Consider the following statement. Sustainable development play a crucial role in fostering the welfare of human society. That's a very generic statement, and it is correct. Second is, sustainable development is characterized by meeting the present needs while preserving the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Both are very generic statement and both are correct. Yes, explanation is also correct. So, in this case, A and R both are right. That means assertion and reason both are right, and it is correct explanation also. Okay. Okay, this is a discussion video for English batch. For Hindi batch, obviously there will be some separate explanation. And you people are also living in India, so start using some Indian platform rather than using some foreign platform. Okay, now coming to question number 13. Which of the following indicators suggests that Indian economy is in developing phase? See, usually whenever a economy transit from developing to developed, so basically in developing economies there is major dependency on agriculture. As we transit towards developed economy, the shift happens from agriculture to industry to services. So the question is which of the following suggests that Indian economy is in developing phase? First is high dependency on agriculture. Yes, roughly 50% population of our country is dependent on agriculture. Second is presence of disguised unemployment. Disguised basically means hidden. So yes, that is also correct. That is actually a consequence of dependency on agriculture. Third is substandard quality of human capital. See, it is not directly related to developing or developed countries. It can be a problem in any kind of country. Human capital basically means the economic value of health, education, skill, experience of a human being. And fourth is low per capita consumption of protein. Again, it depends on the dietary habit of a particular country. So these two may show that country is not that much rich, but they are not the indicator which will justify whether it is a purely developing or developed economy. So 3 and 4 are not correct in this case. This is gone, this is gone, this is gone. We have correct answer, that is A. Okay. Now coming to question number 14. Match the following 5-year plans and associated program. Okay, first plan, second plan. See, even if you do not know much about it, understand the second 5-year plan was based on Mahalanobis model and which emphasized on heavy industrialization. So basically, second 5-year plan is related to rapid industrialization and it was based on Mahalanobis model. So for B, the option 2 should be there. That means this is gone and this is gone. Now understand community development program. This was announced in the first 5-year plan itself. After the third 5-year plan, there was a break. Why there was a break? Because in the duration of third 5-year plan, we had conflict with China in 1962, conflict with Pakistan in 1965. So there was a diversion of resources, and because of this diversion of resources, after third 5-year plan, there was a break or plan holiday. That was from 1966 to 1969. And after that, in the fourth 5-year plan, our goal was achievement of self-reliance with growth and stability. So this was the objective of fourth 5-year plan, and the minimum needs program, that was the objective of fifth 5-year plan. So this is the correct one. Fourth will be for D and fifth will be for E. Okay. High population dependency on India, still agriculture growth is sluggish, then is it a good indicator? No, it is not talking about good or bad. Basically, it is asking in developing economy, what is the feature of that economy? So when an economy or a country is majorly dependent on agriculture, that shows that it is still a developing country. It is not talking about the growth of agriculture. It will still remain developing economy. Okay. Next question is, consider the following assertion and select the correct answer from the options provided. Zero-based budgeting has been introduced as a budgeting technique in India. Zero-based budgeting necessitates a critical evaluation of every scheme before budgetary allocation are made. Understand, zero-based budgeting means every time whenever financial allocations are announced, they will start from zero. That means they will start from scratch and you will have to provide justification for each and every allocation. The opposite of it is incremental budgeting. In incremental budgeting, let me give you a very basic example. Let's say last year the allocation was 100. Now in this case, let's say a department or a ministry is demanding 20 rupee extra. So in incremental budgeting, they will have to provide justification for this 20. In zero-based budgeting, they will have to provide justification for this entire 120, that why they need this much amount of resources. That is why the counting or the calculation always start from zero, and that is why the name zero-based budgeting. Zero-based budgeting. That means the calculation will start from zero. Okay. Next question is, which of the following factors are integral to the calculation of MSP in India by CACP? Now MSP is one of the favorite topic of state PCs and UPSC. Regarding MSP, 2-3 things are very, very important. A, MSP is recommended by CACP, which is under Agriculture Ministry. Final decision is taken by CCEA, that is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, and it is headed by Prime Minister. So when CACP recommend this amount, basically it considers a lot of factors. For example, what is the level of price, how much is the production cost, and so on. So all these are factors responsible. Evaluation of, for example, evaluation of crop production cost and variant. Analysis of inter-crop price parity. And examination of effect on the issue price and implication of subsidy. These are important parameters for calculation of the cost which is recommended by CACP, and subsequently it is decided by CCEA, that is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. 2-3 important things about this particular thing. Recently Bihar government has demanded that MSP should be declared even for makhana. So that is something which you need to remember. I think it was covered in today's newspaper itself. Now MSP is announced for 22 plus 1 crop. What is this plus 1? It is sugarcane, and for this the term is FRP, that is fair and remunerative price. So for sugarcane the separate terminology is used. One more thing, MSP does not have legal backing, that means there is no statutory provision for MSP, but FRP have a legal backing. Answer in comment section, what is that legal backing? How is subsidy implementation done? Implications done? Yes, exactly, it is Sugar Order 1966 under Essential Commodities Act. Yes. So question can be asked that which of the following does not have any legal backing? MSP does not have any statutory backing, but sugar, that means FRP, does have legal backing. That is one difference. Second difference is FRP is provided, that means paid by the private sugar mill owners, even though it is announced by the government. Okay, next question is question number 17. Which of the following statement related to monetary policy tools? Repo rate is the interest rate at which RBI borrows. No, it is the rate at which RBI lend money to the banks, that means banks borrow from RBI at this interest rate. The opposite of it will be reverse repo rate. Second is CRR is the deposit that banks must maintain with RBI. Yes, CRR is something which banks need to maintain with RBI and banks do not receive any interest on it. Okay, so basically first statement is incorrect, second is correct. So correct, it is asking incorrect one. So first statement is incorrect. Next is related to NBFC, that is non-banking financial companies. Understand one thing, NBFCs are those companies which provide some financial services, but they are not banking companies. So first thing that you need to remember, they cannot accept a demand deposit. They cannot accept a demand deposit, they are not covered under DICGC, plus they are not regulated by single regulator. Some are regulated by SEBI, some are regulated by RBI, some are regulated by IRDAI, that is Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. So NBFC is a very wide term, it will have different terms. CRR is cash to reserve ratio. Yes, so basically they cannot accept a demand deposit, this one is correct. They cannot issue debentures. No, they can. Debenture is nothing but a piece of paper that is just like a bond. So yes, everyone can issue debenture, there is no such limitation. NBFC cannot issue check drawn on themselves. Yes, because check is a demand withdrawal. That means you can withdraw whenever you want to. So if NBFC are not allowed to accept a demand deposit, of course they will not be allowed to follow demand withdrawal. And systemically important NBFC have asset size of 500 CR or more. Yes, that is correct. Now understand the concept of systemically important NBFC. So basically these are those NBFC, if they collapse, that will have big impact on our entire economy. Similar concept is of systemically important banks. Now 3 banks are given this status, that is SDFC, SBI and ICICI. Apart from that, there is a concept of DSII, that is systemically important insurers, and these 3 insurers are LIC, GIC and New India Assurance. Please understand that in case of this DSIB, that is domestic systemically important banks, the status is given by RBI. In case of this one, that is systemically important insurers, the status is given by IRDI. Okay, so what is a debenture? Debenture is basically a bond. Debenture is a bond. Whenever someone need money, they write it that I am borrowing you, I am borrowing this much amount from you, and I will repay after this much amount of time with this and this interest. That is bond. If that is issued by government, that is basically referred as government security. And if it is issued for short term, then it is referred as T-bill or treasury bill. If it is issued for long term, that is referred as dated security. If it is issued by state government, that is referred as state development loan. Okay, pen color. Let me try to change that. I think black. Okay. Next question is, consider the following statement regarding CSR, that is corporate social responsibility. Now, it's an excellent question because there are two minor changes in the question. First statement says Companies Act of 2014 mandates CSR. CSR basically means companies have earned profit. They are profitable. Now, they have certain social responsibilities also. That means they need to do certain things for society. And that is where CSR come into picture. So, CSR is mandatory for companies as per the provisions of 2013, not 2014. In fact, India was the one such country which made it mandatory through legislation to spend money on CSR. Now, under this, the covered companies must allocate at least 1% of annual net profit to CSR. Again, the Companies Act is 2013, and they need to spend at least 2% of their average profit of 3 CSR. Okay, next question is, which of the following are associated consequence of Green Revolution? So, regarding Green Revolution, 2-3 important points. After independence, we were trying to increase our production, but our production was not sufficient. We were dependent on imports, especially we were importing wheat as per PL 480 provision of USA, and in that background we started focusing on our Green Revolution. Green Revolution is actually a combination of multiple factors, for example, high yield variety, irrigation infrastructure, chemical fertilizer, and mechanization. Now, University of Pantnagar is considered as the birthplace of Green Revolution. This university, right now it is in Uttarakhand. Previously, at that point of time, it was in United Uttar Pradesh. One important thing, globally, Norman Borlaug is considered as the father of Green Revolution, and in India, Mr. M.S. Swaminathan is considered as father of Green Revolution. One more thing, understand, in 1969, or I don't remember the exact year, Norman Borlaug was given Nobel Prize in Peace. So, because of his work on the development of high yield variety for wheat, he was given Nobel Prize in Peace. Now, understand the question. Decline in soil fertility? Yes, because our cropping pattern became repetitive, and that is why the soil fertility started declining. Groundwater depletion? Yes, that is also correct. So, first and second are correct. That means at least we can eliminate this option. Now, proliferation of fungal infection in nearby crops. Understand, Green Revolution was actually high yield variety of seeds. So, basically the farmers were supposed to purchase these seeds from market. That means some kind of research and development work was done. So, basically the proliferation means increment of fungal infection in the nearby crop. This was not the true scenario. And fourth is increment in seed replacement ratio. Seed replacement ratio basically means how much amount of traditional seed we are using and how much amount of certified seed, that means market driven seeds are being used. Now, because of Green Revolution, farmers started purchasing high yield variety of seeds, and that is why SRR increased. 2-3 important things. why green revolution was not successful in the areas of Bihar? Reason is, when green revolution was announced, basically at that point of time the focus was on rice crop in Bihar. That is one reason. Second reason is the farmers of Bihar were relatively poor and the land was highly fragmented. Even now the land fragmentation is quite high. For example, 97% of farmers of Bihar are small and marginal farmers. So because of that, the impact of green revolution initially during the first phase of green revolution, the impact was limited because the focus of first phase was on wheat crop. Later the focus was shifted to rice crop as well, and that is why the impact was diversified. But in the initial phase, impact was in 3 areas, that is Punjab, Haryana and Western UP. Now understand one more thing. In case of these 3 areas, the agriculture market system became quite developed, and that is why the productivity of these areas became relatively higher, and that is why the condition of these farmers is relatively better. Next question, which of the following activities does not qualify as a foreign direct investment? Does not qualify as foreign direct investment. See, there are 2 major terms. One is FDI, that is foreign direct investment. One is FPI, that is foreign portfolio investment. Direct investment basically means the company or the foreign investor is directly investing into the business interest of India. Okay, so FDI means the investor has invested directly into the business interest of India. FPI basically means investment through stock market or share market. FPI can be further classified into FII, that is foreign institutional investor, and QFI, that is qualified foreign institutional investor. So these are individuals, and these are the companies. Okay, specify in comment section that which committee differentiated between FDI and FPI. Now coming to the question, acquiring existing automobile industry overseas, that is actually FDI, foreign direct investment, because we are acquiring a company. Second is establishing a wholly owned business firm overseas, again we are setting up a new business, that is going to be FDI. Third is investing in bond or stock issued by edtech company overseas, that is purely FPI, that is foreign portfolio investment. And fourth is building a new steel plant, so it is similar to second option itself, that means we are setting up a new company. Yes, Arvind Mayaram committee is the correct answer. Arvind Mayaram committee differentiated between FDI and FPI. Tarapur committee is actually related to the capital account convertibility. It recommended that over a period of time the capital account should be convertible in a phased manner. Okay, so the correct answer is going to be third option. Next question, which of the following statement characterize the unique aspect of India's economic growth trajectory? So first statement says service sector has outpaced the other sectors in the growth rate since liberalization. That is actually a correct statement. After LPG reform, the service sector witnessed a tremendous growth. In fact, the growth in agriculture was adversely impacted. Okay, so first is correct. Second is agriculture sector has persistently employed the largest workforce. Yes, in terms of employment, the agriculture sector is the largest employment provider. In terms of overall GDP contribution, it is the tertiary sector, that is services sector. Roughly, if we talk about Indian level, roughly it is 17% contribution of primary sector, roughly 29% of secondary sector, and roughly 53%. I am not talking about absolute numbers, rough numbers. So roughly 53% is the contribution from tertiary sector. Now this sector provide employment to roughly 30% of population. This sector provide employment to roughly 25% population, and this sector provide employment to roughly 45% population. And that is why in terms of employment, it is the agriculture sector or primary sector which is the leading employment provider. Triffin dilemma. Okay, we will discuss it, but not today. Today we are going to discuss questions only. Okay, so this second statement is also correct. Third is, despite not being industrialized, the services sector contribute the highest share to GDP among the all sectors. Yes, in fact this is the major problem with Indian economy, that we usually countries shift from primary to secondary to tertiary, but we shifted from primary sector to directly tertiary. Tertiary sector is our leading contributor into our economy. As you can see, it contributes roughly 53%. Primary sector does not contribute much in the GDP, but in terms of employment, yes, it is the largest contributor. One more thing, this service sector led growth, it does not lead to that much employment. For example, you can see it contributes roughly 53% of economy, and in terms of employment the contribution is roughly 30%. So that is why it is also known as jobless growth. Jobless growth. That means economic growth is happening, but it is not leading to employment generation. Okay, which of the following statement accurately describe the green agriculture? Green agriculture basically means sustainable agriculture. So first option is organic farming with a focus on horticulture. Second is eliminating pesticide and chemical fertilizer while emphasizing horticulture and floriculture. Third is implementing integrated pest management, integrated nutrient supply and integrated natural resource management. See, this type of question can be solved from a very common sense approach also. For example, understand, there is a similarity between first and second statement, both emphasis on horticulture. Now you have to select either one, or the option is going to be last one. So that means if this is true, by default the chances are that even this is going to be true, emphasizing horticulture and floriculture. So if A is true, basically B is also going to be true, but we don't have any such statement. So the more appropriate answer is going to be the third statement, that is implementing integrated pest management, integrated nutrient supply and integrated natural resources. Okay, next question is, which of the following statement regarding MPC is correct? So MPC is Monetary Policy Committee that was set up in 2016 on the recommendation of Urjit Patel Committee. Now understand, it is having 6 members. It is having 6 members. 3 are appointed by Government of India and remaining 3 are from RBI. And basically, RBI Governor is the chairperson of this. So first, this Finance Minister as a chairperson, this is incorrect. It is constituted under the RBI Act as amended by the Finance Act. Yes, it is correct. It is responsible for determining the bench rate, policy rate to control unemployment. No, to control inflation. Actually, they control inflation and the target is to maintain inflation within a specific range of 4 plus minus 2. Which type of inflation is targeted by MPC? Specify in the comment section. MPC target which type of inflation? And last is, decision of MPC is advisory and not binding on the RBI. No, of course it is binding. Understand one thing, that if there is a tie between the members of MPC, what is the quorum? 4 members must be present for any meeting, and if there is a tie, then the RBI governor being a chairperson will have casting vote. Yes, CPI combined is targeted by MPC and it was recommended by Urjit Patel Committee itself that instead of WPI, previously which kind of inflation was targeted? WPI, but instead of WPI, CPI-C is targeted by MPC. Who released CPI-C? CPI-C is actually released by NSO. NSO is under MOSPI. What is MOSPI? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. What is the base year of CPI? It is 2011-12. Yes, and NSO has been formed after the merger of CSO and NSSO. Now understand one more thing, in CPI the highest weightage is of food and beverages, roughly 45%, then housing, roughly 10%. So you need to understand there are different components. One more thing, in case of CPI WPI, WPI is wholesale price index, In WPI, services are not covered. In CPI, both goods and services are covered. Okay. Next question is, and this is going to be the last question for today. Which of the following statement accurately describe the trickle down theory? So, trickle down theory basically says that if we will provide benefit to the top section of society, those benefit will percolate to the lower section. That means, if benefits are given to the top level of businesses or top businessman, then over a period of time they will invest that money, that investment will lead to more employment generation. So, the money or the flow of money will go down. This is similar to the downward filtration theory of history. That means only the elite section of the society is to be educated and they will educate the other people. Similarly, it says that if we will provide benefit to the top section of society, over a period of time those benefits will percolate down. That means they will go down, and this is how trickle down theory effect works. Okay, it will be notified. It will be notified on YouTube itself. Yes, please ask if you have any doubt from 1 to 25 questions. Please ask whatever doubt you have. Gini coefficient measure income inequality. Yes, it measures, but we will discuss the remaining question in the next session. Cess goes to which fund? We will discuss that question, but in upcoming session. If you have any doubt from 1 to 25, please ask. Okay, then that's all for this session. Thank you.